Hi everybody. One of the most important and basic topics in while learning Microsoft Word is inserting and working with tables. For sure, while you are creating a document, you will need to insert table. In this video, I will explain to you everything about tables, so stay tuned till the end of the video. The first thing, you need to decide where you want to place your table. For example, I need to place my table underneath this text, so I have to place my cursor here where I want to add my table. And then I will go to insert, and here you can find table. From here, you can select how many rows and how many columns for this table. And in this area, you will see how many is selected. I need to add 3 by 3 tables, so I will select 3 columns and 3 rows, and that's it. Once you select them, just click it. Now I have my table ready in my document. Besides, I have 2 new tabs, table design and table layout. They appear only with table, which means that they contain all the commands that related to table. If you click anywhere outside the table, you will not see these tabs anymore. But if you come back and click inside your table, they will appear again. Here at the top left of your table, you have this icon with this cross. This is used to click and select your table. So if you need to select the whole table, you just click in the middle of this icon. Also, you can use this icon to move your table. If I click in the middle and drag and drop, I can move the table. You have another icon here, this small square at the bottom end of the table. This is used to resize your table. When you point by the mouse to it, your cursor is changed into 2-pointed arrow, and then you can drag and drop to resize your table. The table consists of some columns, vertical columns, and some horizontal rows. The intersection between columns and rows form cells. This is a basic unit of content in table. So if you need to add a content, you will add it inside cells. Selection is very important because anything you need to apply, you need first to select before apply. To select a column, you can point with your cursor at the top of the column until you get this black tiny arrow. Once you click, you will select the whole column. If you need to select more than one column, you can click, hold, and drag over the other columns with the same black tiny arrow. If you need to select a row, point your cursor beside the row from the left at the beginning. Once you get this white arrow, you can click, and now the row is selected. You can select more than one row by clicking and moving over the rows. These rows are selected. You can select many cells by clicking inside the first cell, moving, click, and drag while holding the left key, and now you can select cells. The separating lines between columns and rows are used to resize the column and row. For example, if I need to resize this column, I will come here to this line. Once I get this 2-pointed arrow, this is resizing. I can click and drag like this. So now I resize the column. Or you can drag it here to expand your column. The same can be done here. Also, for rows, you can point to the separating line between row. Once you get this arrow, you can hold and drag to increase or decrease the size of the row. This icon is at the beginning of the table. If you find this icon to the right, it means your table direction is from right to left. I can see this icon from the left. It means that my table direction is from left to right. I need to write inside the table. I click inside the first cell and then clicking tab from the keyboard to move to the next cell. Shift tab to move to the previous cell. Tab, next cell, shift tab, previous cell. And I will move by tab. If your cursor is in the last cell in the table and then you press tab, a new row is created. Again, tab, A new row is created if you click tab while you are inside the last cell in the table. I will fill in this table. I filled in the cells of the table. You can pause the video and fill in your table. And I can work with table using these two tabs. The table design contains everything that can be used to modify the design of the table, regarding the borders, colors, and everything related to the formatting or the design, the general design of the table. For example, here I have table styles where you can choose preset styles for your table. If you look at the background, once you point to any of these styles, you can see a preview as a background. I will choose this. What if you need to change the borders of your table? I will select my table, and from table design, I have here borders and shading. Here you have the borders. I think you can remember this. We use these borders for adding a border for paragraphs. Also, I use it in the case of a table, but you need first to select the table. So Microsoft Word will understand that you need to apply the border for a table and not for a paragraph. From here, you can choose the style of the border. And from here, you can change the color. And from here, you can change the width. I'll choose this width. And I will apply this border to outside of the table. So I will choose box because I need the outer border of the table to be like this. Now I need to add another border inside the table. I will choose another style like this, for example, and I will choose another color and I will change the width. Here I don't see anything here. You need to add it manually. You can add it either by clicking inside the table like this, or you can use these middle lines to add or remove a vertical and horizontal lines. And that's all. I will press OK. Now I have my new border in my table. I want to add a shading color for the header row. So I will select the header row. From table design, here you have shading. And then you can choose any of the shading color that you have. I will choose this shading color. Also, you can change or you can format the text inside the table. Select the cells that you need to format. I need to format the title with a special format, so I will go home. And from here, format font. You can from here change the font type. I would increase the font size and I need to make it middle. I put the header row, the headers in the middle of the cells. I want to change the color of the header row. I would need to align the salary column to the center. So I will select the salary column. From home, I would select center. That's really very easy. Let's go back to table design. In table design, here I have some checkboxes like header row because I have a header row. First column, if I uncheck it, so the first column will be the same as the usual data inside the table. If you have the left column or the first column is headers, you can simply take this option. If you need to add the border in another way, you can also use this part to draw the border. For example, you can choose the pen color from here. And then you can choose the width and the border style from here. I will choose this, so I will also increase the border. And then I will move with the line with this pen over the border that I want to change. Now I have it. I can apply anywhere on any border by just moving and drawing. This pen, and now I have another border style. I applied it manually. Once you finish, you still have this pen. I will click escape to get rid of it. The table layout tab has all the commands that related to the table layout. For example, if you need to add or remove rows or columns, if you need to change the direction of your table, if you need to make a lot of things regarding to the layout of your table, the right place is to go to the table layout. For example, here we have a sort of alignment, but here we have vertical and horizontal alignment. We already chose the alignment from here, but this is only horizontal alignment. What if I need to add the table header exactly in the middle of the cells? So I will select this, and from here I will choose middle. Now it is centered vertically and horizontally. You can choose any of these alignments like uh, top left, bottom right. You have also text direction to change the direction of the text. I will come back to this option in a while. So I need to add a column beside the name column. If you need to insert a new column, click in the column that you need to insert another column beside it. And from here, we have many insert options. 2 for rows and 2 for columns. As I need to insert a column, so I have 2 options, whether to insert a column to the left of the selected column or the current column, or insert a table to the right of the selected column. I need to add a column to the left in here before this column. So I will choose insert column to the left. Now I have a new column to the left. I want to decrease its size. You can see that the table is highly expanded and it went outside my page, but you still have this icon, which is used to resizing your table. You can just drag and resize it back. But if you couldn't see this icon, you can simply reduce the size of every column. To insert a row, click inside the row that you need to insert another row above or below it, and from table layout, here you have insert row above or insert row below. I need a row below, so I will insert row below this row. And here you can add any detail that you need to add. I would need to insert a row above this, so insert rows above. I need to insert a column here, so I will insert a column to the right. But what if you need to delete? Now I have one column and one row, but I really don't need them. I will click inside the column that I need to remove. And from here you have delete, and inside delete you have many options like deleting a cell, column, row, or the whole table. If I need to delete a column, I will click delete column, and this will remove the column, will delete this row. So I will click anywhere in this row, and from delete I will delete rows. If I want to delete the whole table, I will click anywhere inside the table, and from delete I would choose delete table. This is the table is removed, but I need it, so I will undo the process. Now I have it. I need to have these cells as one cell. I need to add a title here, vertical title. So I need to merge all of these cells into one cells. To merge cells, you need to select the cells that you need to merge. They should be 2 cells or more. Now I selected all of them. And we're still in the column, in the table layout, here we have merge cells. Merge cell will merge all the selected cells into only one cell. And now I will write a title, but I need this title to be vertically oriented. This option is used to change the text direction. With every click, you will change the text direction. I would need the text direction to be like this. I also need to make it in the middle vertically and horizontally like this. Now I have a title for this table. You can add another title to the top by inserting a new row So I will insert a row above, and I would need to merge this row from table layout, merge cells. You can see that it takes the format of this vertical title. Now it's a turn of text direction again. I will click like this until I get it horizontally. I would need to change the shading color. So I will click it, and from table design, I will go choose another shading color. I will need to add a new row here. So I can simply go to the last cell and then press tab to add a new row. Here I want to split cells, which is the opposite of merging. Merging is converting more than one cell into only one cell, but splitting is dividing one cell into many cells. I need to split this cell. I click into it. I need just to select one cell and then split cells. Here you need to split this cell. You can split it horizontally and vertically. So it will ask you how many columns you need to divide this cell and how many rows to split these cells. By default, it will be splitted into 2 columns and 1 row, which means split will be splitted into 2 horizontal cells. If I need to change that, I need to split this cell into 2 columns and 2 rows. Okay. Now, as you can see, the cell is divided into 4 cells, 2 columns by 2 rows. If I need another split, I will choose split cells, and now I need to split it into 1 column and 2 rows. So it will be splitted vertically into 2 cells. Like this, 2 rows and 1 column. I need to apply a formula here. I need to calculate the sum of salaries. So from here, I can choose formula. And the formula is sum above, which means calculate the total of the above cells. And from here, you can choose the number format that maybe have 1000 separator and 2 decimal points. Here, for example, you may need it to be to have 1000 separator and 2 decimal points with the dollar sign. I will choose this. And then, okay, now I have the total of these salaries. I want to erase these cells. I will use the eraser. I just move over the borders that I need to erase. Once you finish, you can press escape or click the eraser again to get rid of the eraser. View grid lines will show you the grid lines of the deleted cells. If you need to remove these grid lines, just click it. Here also we have the table properties. From here you can change the table direction. My table now is from left to right. If I need to convert it from right to left, I will choose right to left and then okay. This alignment is the table horizontally, whether it needed to be left aligned, centered, or right aligned. Sometimes you have a small table and need to place it exactly in the center. So I would choose center. Text wrapping is the wrapping of the table with the text. Sometimes you need to create the table and you need the text to be around the table. In this case, you will choose around. Here we have properties for rows and properties for columns. This is the size of the rows. You can increase or decrease the height of the row. Allow row to break across pages, which means if you have a row with a lot of text with many lines, and this is the end of the page, and the table will be break into the next page. It means that the row will be divided to the next page, and it means that we will have part of the row as the previous page and the part of the same row in the next page. You don't allow this. If you have a long table, this table will run over many pages. You may need to repeat the header row over pages, which means if I have this table, which is very long, and part of the table will be in this page and the remaining of the table will be in the next page. Normally, the part of the table in the next page won't have the first header row. But if you need the header row to be repeated for every page for this table, you will choose repeat as header row at the top of each page. But why it is not activated? Because we don't select any row. Now I selected the first row. I'll go back to properties, and now you can select this option. Now it is activated. That's all for today, guys. If you have any question, write it in the comments down below. Thank you, guys. I will see you next video.